What's up, guys? First of all, I know we kind of just spoke about, I put out a story in regards to my message, um, as to why I decided to leave the team, but just like a little bit of background. I started shooting for Sunny probably around maybe like in November time. And I was a pretty big shooter. I kind of got into the games and the battles and things like that. And shooting was one of those things that I enjoyed doing, especially in the battles and things like that. Um, so her and I we gravitated pretty quickly toward each other, and you start to get the recognition of being a big shooter, right? I probably became her mod somewhere like around December, January, somewhere around there. And we were friends. Like that was somebody I know. A lot of people in the chat are probably gonna say like that's not your friend when you get money, things like that. But we were genuinely friends, and we had each other's phone numbers and things like that. We talked. There was a lot of private conversations that her and I had off the app. A lot of people didn't know about. So I don't want to discredit any of that friendship. Um, I think when things really started to go down was I really, really rode for her heavy at that time. And so me being known as like the main mod, me being known as a main shooter, supporter, all of this and that, starting to get all of these names attached to me that was all strictly just attached to her. Um, and then her making some of the decisions that she did. I mean, she was young. Call it what you want. That really started to affect me. So a lot of people I'd get like hate messages, two, three times a day, right? And my private life became really public. So I was a person who set up the entire Discord, managed the Discord. She decided to open it up and let I think it was like 800 people in there. And somebody that big of a size, as a creator, cannot have that many people because it's all T pages, right? So things started to get clipped, and I worked to push it out, right? So her and I, there was a lot of behind the scenes things that I did for her. So what I'll say is that probably around like March, you start to realize kind of like where I really started to realize at that point where our friendship was, right? Things started becoming a little bit distant. I became a little bit distant in the Discord. But I think what was a struggle for me was being so close, and then she kind of ghosted in a sense. Around the same time, I kind of just start to just get off the app, right? So there was there was many times that people asked like, you lost Francis, or where's Francis? And she would say like, no, we still talk every day. That's not true. All right. So I'm here the first one to be like, that's not true. It took, there's probably like a month where like we didn't chat, like, you know what I mean? Or like she never reached out or anything like that. Um, and to sit here at the same time, it was a pro because for the simple reason that we just, right. And so it was a pro on that point, but I think I should have been privately reached out to. And then to find out that she reached out maybe just literally a few weeks ago was because of the push of somebody. There was a different mod that told her to come reach on me, right? I think that's hurtful, right? Because the amount of things that people go through in their personal lives. But for me, I was slowly falling from the team anyways, just because what I realized was that there's certain morals that I hold myself accountable, and hold myself like true to heart in my personal life. And it would be wrong for me to not withhold that in my life, right? And the people around me. So that was something that was like, okay, so I kind of like really took a step back. And um, there was a lot of things that just didn't necessarily correlate, but you kind of just wait to see how they move. She's young and things like that. So to kind of touch basis on, right, my message of being silenced. So I've said it before, is that if I have 1% of the platform that any of these big creators have, I'd utilize it in a positive way to talk about things that we don't talk about in this world, right? And be more positive, and women need to uplift women. So we opened the panel up and people wanted to talk about what had happened the night before, which it was an allegation. I don't want to say allegation, I'll take that back, I apologize, which there was T pages that were clipping things that she had stated, right, in regards to a derogatory comment.
Mm,
in regards to something that she stated, right? I wasn't on the live, but I did see the T pages, right?
mm-hmm,
So I think when I open up the panel to talk about that in general and why it offends some people and why it doesn't offend other people and where you come from and how that can be perceived, and
mm-hmm,
talking about other creators being allowed to say that, right?
mm,
Um, so I think I was told in the Discord, all caps, change the subject. Y'all shouldn't be talking about that.
mm,
Is what the words were. Y'all shouldn't be talking about that. And then there were some people who piggybacked off of that and were saying that it was disrespectful for me to talk about that. And I stated how this isn't her platform. No, all of like at any point when I've ever given you advice as a manager, like we would talk and have managerial talks,
mm-hmm,
why is it that you never took my advice when I told you what to talk about on live and when I didn't, when like what not to? So
mm,
why is it okay for you guys to tell her it's cool for you to do what you do on your platform, but it's not okay because of us? And I said, because she makes millions of dollars and I don't,
mm, mm-hmm,
right? Money doesn't give you the power to sit here and try to silence somebody when we're talking in a general conversation. And there was people in the comments who came in with one type of mindset and they came in strong, and we talked things out and they were able to see my point of view and we were able to see their point of view in many different conversations, right?
mm-hmm.
So then it became of, I'm not trying to silence you. Well, when you say to change the subject or y'all shouldn't be talking about this, that's to be silenced, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that was really like something that um um
I wanted to say it was also said that we were going to make it worse by talking.
yeah.
Just
So the page of TT22, so there's somebody who decided to, so at a perfect opportunity when all of this happens and I make the decision to leave, right? Let me just make this comment. Snipe Goat left before I did. So people are stating that I didn't, I left first. Snipe Goat left before me. And we had talked about it. We talked about it before, and he left, and then I made the decision to leave. I just went a little bit more public with it because of the platform that I had. And so when that happened and I decided to leave, somebody decides to pretend that they're me on a fake page or dish out dirty laundry, because if I've got already a target on my back, why not go ahead and dish out some things that were spoken about in the private chat that are only 30 people, right?
Mm,
Um, so my problem is not with that. My problem is to the fact that, and I told Sunny, the fact that you didn't know my judgment, like you had a bad judgment of character when it came to that because you believed it, because nobody ever would in the way that I did.
mm,
It's offensive,
mm,
right? That you didn't, you know, you talked about knowing me and things like that, but to think that I would ever leave and go ahead and dish out dirty laundry, create a Reddit page, do all these things, like if you ever speak to me, you know that like I'm that's something I'll never do. For me
mm,
to this difference is let me say something. For the thousands of dollars that I've spent, you think I'd give a damn about spreading a 20-year-old's dirty laundry? If I wanted to do that, I would have done it. But where does it get me?
mm-hmm,
Nowhere. For what? For me to bash other creators? No.
mm-hmm,
So what's the reason? So there was no love interest in Sunny. There was none at all.
mm-hmm,
So um that's kind of like where that's at and that stands. And so when I stated my message, because I went public with it in the Discord, I got no follow-up text. I got
oh,
a that's real with 100 emoji, right? That was a response. So for somebody who, like, that's hurtful, like I won't sit here and say that that's not hurtful, right? Like at the very least, to, you know, you have my number, you could have called or anything like that if I was as real to you as you said I was.
mm-hmm,
So that's where the part is kind of like confusing on that sense. And like I said, there's just kind of things of allegations of me being somebody that I'm not, and sitting here just spreading all these rumors about stuff. So it's insane. Part of my decision, again, when I talk about morals on how you move, does it have a part to do with your relationship? Yes, but I have no ill intention. I have no ill feelings towards Dedrick, right? I'm a mod for Dedrick, right?
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Sunny has made me a mod on Dedrick's page, on both pages, right? But it's no ill intentions towards him, but it's just on your choices for it, right? I think, at least at my age, why is it still fun and games to be toxic in love? Why can't we be calm in love? That toxic shit is so old, right? But you got to go through you got to go through what you do in regards to that before the public knew about it. Absolutely. So did 30 other people in a private chat. And so did 30 other people. And I stated on there, I'm going to go to Ashton's live and I'm going to comment it because I need her to know, or something like that. We were talking about that. The whole private chat was it egged on? Absolutely. So for the people who are sitting here saying, oh, but I said it first, but you supporting it, right? Like, that's the only thing that I stated. It's going to come out publicly. You want to know why? Because Sunny talks about everything on live. So I went into her chat and I said, asking for 80K is insane, right? And I'm going to talk, the reason why I'm going to touch bases on this is because it's already out. It's not to spread drama or anything, but asking for 80K to keep a relationship or a female with you is absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd.
Absolutely.
So
I do also want to say, I heard whispers, obviously, throughout the TikTok streets. We're hearing little whispers. People are DMing me. They want me to put her on the list for this, for that. I'm like, if I don't see it and I don't have facts, I'm not talking about it.
I'm a girlfriend, I'm all of these things. But stop attaching all these notations to everybody else, onto a creator. Your mods are so much more than just your mods. They're your friend, they're your confidant, they're all these things. Why is it only that you can speak to them when it's convenient for you? And that became the problem to me. If you only called me when you were going through some shit, don't call me at all, baby. Stop. Especially if you're not going to want to hear what I got to say, because I'm 26 years old. I've been through some shit. So, like, that's that. But I hope, like, honestly, to really just kind of like move forward. Like I said, like Alex and I talked about it, and like tonight's the last night, like, and that's it, on to what's next and whatever God has planned for me. And that's it.
Absolutely. And I mean, this is the perfect time and the perfect way to close it, because you speak, you're heard, you're understood or misunderstood, whatever the case is, but you have said your piece. I'm sure there's going to be questions. I'm sure there's going to be, oh, we'll clear this up. Oh, we'll clear that up. You guys have every right to clear up what you want to and dismiss what you don't. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to speak up about anything that does not feel comfortable to you. Period.
Absolutely.
Especially because you still have a risk of being attacked afterwards. We don't know what it's going to look like after this live. All we know is that you are speaking for what happened to you, what you went through, and how you feel, and moving on. That's it. So as long as things can be respectful, calm, collected, I'm open to asking questions to y'all if y'all are open to that from the comments. Totally up to y'all.
I'm good with it as long as they're respectful.
Yeah, I'll answer anything, but I don't ask us about rugs, because we have no idea. I'm not about to get into like a race-baited conversation either. I'm not getting into that either. I can guarantee you that I feel the same exact way as the majority of you guys do. So we'll just leave that topic at that.
Absolutely. Okay.